All right, everybody, we are back for Super Bowl 58 hype live discussion. We are 24 hours away, 24 hours away, a little bit more, until all the talking stops and we know exactly who will be throned the champion for the 2023-2025 season. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys hit that like, that thumbs up, and of course, if you are new to the channel, subscribe. Click that bell, turn on your notifications so you don't miss the stream. I may be having a surprise giveaway tomorrow during the live stream. I will be streaming the Super Bowl, so make sure you guys lock it in. It's going to be a surprise. It's going to be a surprise. With that said, let's go. Shout out to you, Daniel. What up, man? Daniel in the house. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I wanted to talk about a couple things as far as before we get into the actual game tomorrow. I put up a poll, and let me actually go ahead and get the exact numbers for you guys. I put up a poll asking, what mattered to you most as far as this next Super Bowl? And 72% of you said the game, 8% of you said the party, 14% said the commercials, and 6%, which this is a huge one. 6% said the halftime show. There's also the, other side that said, hey, I don't care about it. Is there a none of the above option? We had those as well. But this question was more so for the people who actually are interested in watching the game. We know the people who don't want to watch the game, just don't have to vote. All right, it's that simple. Anyways, 72% voted for the game, 8% for the party, and then 14% for the commercials, 6% for the halftime show. This was out of 979 votes, so almost 1,000 votes. And it's a good size sample there as far as figure out what people are most excited for and excited to see. A lot of people just love the commercials. A lot of people just love the the halftime show, and some people are love the party. Right? They have the Super Bowl party. They get it going. They have a good time. They bring the friends and the family over and all that kind of stuff. But it looks like this year, right? Most people are just excited for the game itself. So, with that said, I think I'm more so excited for the game, right? I love football. I love sports. Um, you know, I think as far as if you're gonna throw a party, right? It boils down to whether or not your team won. If your team's in the Super Bowl, right? I think that's the general format is if you're gonna throw a party. Now you do have the few far in between out there that will throw a Super Bowl party just because of who's ever in the Super Bowl, and that's fine as well. But me personally, if my team was in the Super Bowl, then I'd throw a party. But I'm still excited for for the game itself because it's always a good time no matter what, no matter where you are. If you're at a bar, on a live stream, in your own house, you make it an event. You make it whatever you want to make it, and I am excited for the game myself. Shout out to Peyton. What up, man? What's going on with you, bro? Shout out to Peyton in the house. Who I am says I hope it's a good game. I do as well. I do as well. Blaze Boy says Ravens were supposed to be in it, Jay. Um, I'm not taking away from that. You know, the reality is this. When we say a team is supposed to do something or they should have been there, we have to go by the reality of it. And the reality is, the Chiefs was the stronger competitor. Right? The Chiefs played a hell of a game. They played amazing defense, and the Ravens just were not able to play at a championship level. I think that's the easiest way to put it. They were not able to play at a championship level and get to the point where they could compete with this team who has already been to a championship so many times. And I think that's the reality of it. I think that's the reality of it. Shout out to Lori because I'm so excited for the game. Go San Francisco 49ers. Shout out to you, Lori. Let's go. Lori in the house. Peter says important to both, but it's 49ers. Let's go, man. Shout out to you, Peter. What's going on with you? Says, will be good for sure. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm excited for it. We're 24 hours away. There's a lot of hype. I've been watching a ton of videos. You guys know I look at, watch the analysts and all that kind of stuff. A lot of people are in Vegas right now. Um, I did have an opportunity to go, but obviously I have other pressing stuff going on, life stuff. So, I could have went, and I thought it would have been a cool situation if because what I planned to do, which I'll just let you guys know, it was going to be a surprise, but what I had planned to do is I was going to get, a nice little strip view suite, and I was going to try to position it so that, the stadium's in the background of the view along with the strip, and I would have live streamed the actual game from this position with the strip and the stadium in the background. It would have been real cool, real cool. But unfortunately, life stuff, kids, just how it goes. With that said, I'm still gonna be here. I'm still gonna be streaming, just not with that view. That's all. Shout out to you, Trent. What up, man? What's going on with you? Uh Blaze says I'm happy at least my boy Lamar got MVP. We'll be back next year though. Go Flock. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Bob says I'm ready for the Chiefs to win. We'll see, man. We'll see. Says I love the Chiefs, but I am only rooting for them because they are better than the Nines. But anyway, I'm an Eagles fan. So that's your opinion, right? That's your opinion. But I think at the end of the day, I'm not sure if the Chiefs are better than the Niners. I would say from a talent point of view, the edge for who's better would definitely go towards the 49ers, which we're going to get into the stats and the analytics and the odds and all that stuff momentarily. But, when you're talking about the team who's actually better, from a talented point of view, it would be the 49ers with the edge there. Now, when you talk about experience, then that would be the difference, right? The Chiefs do have more experience in a Super Bowl. So I think that's maybe what you're looking for in regards to a term of who's better. It would be, the Chiefs going into a Super Bowl. CMC says, "Go Niners!" Yeah, man. Going on, you shout out to you, Trent. So yeah, we'll go to get into some of these stats here, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, as far as the game odds, right? We'll get into the game odds as JB says can't go against with Mahomes. KC Chiefs for the win. We'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna go ahead and pull these odds up here. I gotta make sure that things just for some reason today want to give me a hard time. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. But we'll get it together. We will get it together. Let's see here. What do we got? We're going to share, my friend. We're going to share. Allow window, and this is the one. Here we go. There we go. All right, so we're going to pull this up here now and open this up. Perfect. There we go. Can't stop us. As I'm going to need to increase this view though for sure, because I know that probably looks super small for some of you guys, but we're going to increase this size here so you guys can see exactly what's going on. Here we go. All right, perfect. So 49ers, Chiefs, odds. The line actually opened at 2.5. The spread dropped down a point to 1.5 in favor of the 49ers. The over-under is 47.5, which basically stayed the same. Money line is going to be minus 120 for the 49ers. Even money line for the Chiefs, this actually dropped. It was plus 115 at one point, then it dropped to 110, and now it's completely even. So if you bet $100, you win $100. It's just the reality of it. So that's interesting to see for sure that things have tightened up as far as the odds and the money line. And then as we get into the matchup predictor here, it's 59.4% for the 49ers, 40.6% for the Chiefs. Now, this goes back into what I said as far as the experience or the talent versus the experience. On paper, 49ers have the better talent, right? You've got CMC, you've got Debo, you've got Ayuk, you've got Kittle, you've got so many weapons over there for that 49ers team. And that's essentially what's giving them the edge. Let me see if I can just want to see if I can get this in here combined together. Come on, Jay, get it going, get it going, get it going. Can we do that? No, no, doesn't want to work that way. All right, get my mean mug out of here then. All right, let me fix that. I'm doing too much. So yeah, as far as the talent versus experience, that is what's going to be the reason why we're looking at the matchup predictor here with a 59.4 versus a 40.6. So on the flip side, you've got the experience, like I said before, with Patrick Mahomes being the greatest quarterback in the league right now, followed up with Rice. You've got Kelsey. The big thing for me right now is going to be probably Pacheco. I think Pacheco is going to bring a level of running that we hadn't seen for this Chiefs team. I think Pacheco is going to bring a better opportunity that we haven't seen with the Chiefs in this game. And it would be an issue if the 49ers don't pay attention to this because I feel like Pacheco is definitely slept on. I think he's slept on. I think he's kind of an afterthought. And I think if the Chiefs can open up that run game and really get it going with Pacheco, you're going to see that open up the lane for Kelsey. You're going to see that open up the lane for Rice and all these other guys to actually have a chance to make big plays. And, that's going to leave Mahomes, a little open as well as far as with his runs because everyone knows that if you give him too much time in the pocket, he's going to be able to make plays. He's going to be able to get out of trouble. And it's going to be interesting to see how Shanahan actually coaches in regards to making sure that Mahomes doesn't have all that time back there in the pocket while not leaving someone open or while not leaving a huge gap that Mahomes can find down the field. There's going to be a lot to digest getting into this game itself. But I want to say I think the biggest thing for me as far as the diversion of what the Chiefs would use is Pacheco. We've seen that he's a hard runner. He takes hits. He fights through. He puts those shoulders down. He plays physical football. And as a running back of his caliber, he could be the differentiating factor in this game. Now, also, we know what to expect from Kelsey, right? You leave this man open, he's going to make you pay. He's going to pick up the 15, the 20 yards, possibly even run for a touchdown or two. That's going to be a huge thing that we see here getting into whether or not these Chiefs can stand the test of time against this talented 49ers team. Now, when we shout out to you, Brian. I am not calling you guys old. I am not calling you guys old. Shout out to you, Brian. Much love, man. Immortal in the building. What up, Immortal? Immortal, I got a blue shirt on for you today. I got a blue shirt on for you today. I thought about you when I put it on. You may get that joke. Some people don't, but it's a little inside thing. Shout out to you, Immortal. I got a blue shirt on for you today. J Zero says I have to give both the 49ers team and the Chiefs team a lot of credit for both the NFL regular season and the postseason 2023. I got the hiccups, y'all. My bad. I got the hiccups. The cat's all over me right now. A lot of stuff going on right now. A lot of stuff going on. Anonymous says thoughts on Lamar MVP. Honestly, I thought it was everyone besides him. So yeah, let me. I'm gonna keep that question up after I get back from talking about these stats here real quick, but we'll get to that momentarily. So yeah, as far as Kelsey goes, obviously if you leave him open, he's going to pay. I think he's good for at least 1 to 2 touchdowns. So there's going to be a lot of distractions that Andy Reid runs as well with his Kansas City offense. So that's to me, like I said, if you run the offense through Pacheco, it leaves open lanes for Kelsey, Rice, some of these other guys to be able to go out there and catch the ball. On the flip side, you pretty much got the same thing with the 49ers because we all know the damage that McCaffrey can cause, right? He's picking up 8, 9, 10 yards on every run. You've got Ayuk out there who can definitely catch the ball just like the best of them. And then, you've got Debo in there, the multi-purpose tool, and then Kittle as well. So Reed in this defense is definitely going to have their hands full. The real question for me on this team, the question mark that we've had all year, is whether or not Purdy is going to be able to step up in this specific game. We've seen him do it, right? We have a good understanding as far as whether or not uh, Purdy can come back and win a game and do what he needs to do on the field. I don't think that's really the question anymore in the regular season. I think it's now, okay, can you replicate that success? Can you go out there in the biggest game of your life and show the world that Mr. Irrelevant is now just that person who is relevant on the field? And if he can do that, right? If he can go out there and use all these tools that he had, because there's no doubt to me that everyone on this team besides him, right? Besides him can get the job done. And I say besides him because he's the one that has the ball in his hand to make the decisions. I'm not discrediting his talent. You guys know I feel that he's very talented, but he's never been here before. That is the key game decision for me. He's never been here before. And you can look at how talented he is. You can look at the stats. You can look at all that kind of stuff. Being up for MVP the regular season is great. The reality is this: does he possess the talent in this stage at the highest when all the pressure's on you, when all the eyes are on you? Everyone's watching now. Mahomes has been here. He's done it before. Can Brock Purdy do it? And I think that's the question. Now, let me go to get into Anonymous and his comment. Says, thoughts on Lamar MVP? Honestly, I thought it was everyone else besides him until I actually thought about it. He clearly was the difference with the Ravens team, a bit more than Josh Allen and CMC. So I do agree with this for a couple reasons, right? It's very easy for us to sit back and say, well, I think it should be I think it should be CMC or I think it should be Allen because, they put up good stats and, they look good. But when you start to really dig down and not just only the stats, but you look at the wins as well, and you look at the year that Lamar has had, you start to really understand, even though they lost in the playoffs, it doesn't matter because it's a regular season award. You start to look at this was the number one team in the AFC, bar none. Regardless of what Mahomes did, regardless of what Tua did, regardless of what Josh Allen did, Flacco came in later. You guys get it. The reality is, even CJ Stroud, right? He had his issues. He had the injury, came back, did his thing. The reality is, Lamar Jackson played the most consistent football of the season, and his team was number one in the end of the regular season. So that's why he deserved it. And, you know, I don't really think it was surprising either. I think a lot of people understood why. And, some, like I said, when you're a fan of the team, you obviously want your favorite player to get the award if they're up for it, right? But the reality is, there was only maybe two people that actually deserved it. And when I say deserved it, I mean it was probably most likely between uh, CMC and Lamar. To me personally, that's just what I think. But overall, Lamar edged it out for sure. Next up, who we got after that? Before we get back into this, let me go back down there. Shout out to you, Rebecca. What's going on with you, Rebecca in the house? Bills Mafia in the building. Lisa says, Jay, I don't have the heart to pick the Chiefs. I have 49ers 45-10. End of discussion. Oof. Listen, I'm not mad at you, Lisa. I'm not mad at you at all. Listen, the Super Bowl is real tricky. especially when we get into predictions and things like that. Because I think at the end of the day, when you have when you have this level of talent, when you have this level of experience, and when you have a game of this magnitude, it turns into certain situations and scenarios and momentum, right? That one play can change everything. That one interception, that one sack, that one fumble, because it goes from a point of, all right, well, yeah, we know that this talented team can go out there and win for sure. Or we know that this person has been here 5 times and they won 2 or whatever. When we start to really get into the details is that's just foreshadowing of what is potentially going to happen, right? But when the game is actually going on, we see all kinds of stuff that affects how the game is going to go. The refs, the flags, the penalties, the yardage, crazy calls, decisions that are made. There's so many different moving parts to it, and you know, that's the beauty of the game, right? That's the shock value, the scenarios behind how everything plays out, without a doubt. CMC says Andy versus Kyle. Play calling is going to be interesting. Yes, it's going to be a hell of a chess match. It is going to be a hell of a chess match for sure. Says if looking good was a criteria for winning MVP, then Nicki Minaj will win MVP in every year. I agree, Carl. I do agree. Marlo says, Jay, do you want a big Penix Energy T-shirt? Yeah, send it, man. I'm down for it. Yeah, send it. You got the address. Let's go. Peter says fourth quarter. So I think one of the absolute biggest things for me is looking at the reality of the opportunity that Brock Purdy has, right? I think we all know that Patrick Mahomes is chasing greatness, right? I think he's chasing that GOAT title. And he knows it. We know it. Listen, don't be fooled. As much as these guys play it down and pay homage to the greats, they want that title for themselves. So when you look at Patrick Mahomes being in the situation to get another Super Bowl title, you really start to sit there and be like, well, if he does win it, it does add to the legacy. It does add to that conversation as far as, how great he is and, the trajectory of his career and potentially what kind of run he could have and where he could end up as far as being on that mantle. Yeah, XL. XL's good, Immortal. Shout out to you, bro. Sherry says, I'm a Steelers fan, so don't care who wins. I just love watching the game. Let's go. So yeah, when you start looking at where Patrick Mahomes can go if he wins this game, it really starts to turn into that discussion and that conversation. Then on the flip side, you got Brock Purdy, right? This is an individual who basically came out of nowhere that nobody expected to go out there and play the way that they have, and they're now in a situation to make a name for themselves. And it's a great story. It's a great story because it not only changes the narrative as far as what we consider to be a great quarterback at, being, number one in the draft and all that kind of stuff, but it changes how quarterbacks and scouts are going to be looked, or how scouts are going to look at quarterbacks, moving forward. Is that guy who was taken in the third round actually worth a damn? Is that guy who was taken in the fifth round actually worth a damn, or whatever round later on it is? When you've got situations like Caleb Williams complaining about, oh, I don't want to go to the Bears. I want to go wherever I want to go. And I get it to a degree. Other people have made that gripe and made that claim and then made certain decisions to go on and go where they want to go. But I feel like there's a lot of entitlement that comes to that first round draft pick number, right? There's a lot of hype, there's a lot of ego. And some of these guys are a complete bust. Some of these guys don't make it, and some do. But over the last 20 years, right, we've seen quarterbacks who have been drafted deep in the draft, who nobody thought they would go out there and be great, becoming legendary. So it's very interesting to see. A lot of people hated on Purdy. I remember last year when I was advocating for the guy, people were like, "Jay, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're crazy. You're not making any sense of it." And I think at the end of the day, he's definitely shocked the world. I like the story. I like the kid. I do see the issues, though. I do see the weaknesses. You guys know I call it out. I don't just talk about the good stuff. We talk about the bad stuff as well. I think one big thing that Purdy is lacking is his ability to throw over the line. That's the biggest thing for me. His ability to throw over the line is his biggest fault because everyone knows from the Ravens and 49ers game that if you put your hand up or if you pressure him, it's very easy to bat that ball down. And because he doesn't have the height to basically throw over that line, that's a huge disadvantage. And, that's stuff that the scouts do look at when they do draft. So, you could kind of understand why, even though he is talented in other realms and other skills, that they would, include that in their report. So when you look at someone like a Josh Allen, who's 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", who has that height that can look over the line, that can run through defenders and be able to read defenses and make the plays that they need to. Um, with the addition of the height, that goes in their favor. And that's something that Brock Purdy has had to work through, and he's done it. That's the beautiful thing about it. He's actually done it. And so when you take a deep dive into those specific finite details, as far as Brock Purdy being the quarterback that he is, you start realizing that, yeah, the deck was stacked against him. The deck was definitely stacked against him, and he found a way to go out there and win and play with the best of them. And so that's the conversation, right? That's the conversation. You're looking at a man who everyone basically wrote off. He was finally given a chance due to Trey Lance and Jimmy G and all that kind of stuff. The whole change as far as that 49ers franchise. And we talk about moments. We talk about moments. Everyone thought that last year was his last moment. Oh, he's never going to do it again. And then this year he comes out, and I told everybody that this kid would be the franchise. I told everybody that he'd be the man for the 49ers. And lo and behold, here we are. Second year, he shows that, hey, it wasn't a fluke. I go out there, I win the NFC Championship, and now I'm in the Super Bowl of what I should have probably been in last year. And now I'm going up against the other potential, greatest quarterback of the league. And I got a solid chance at it. It's really interesting. It's a great story. And like I said, when you start really diving into it and when you really start, taking down, everything that this kid has done and what he can do on the field, he can find a way to win. And that's the beauty of it. I think we're going to have a great, great Super Bowl. I think it's not going to be boring, as other people are saying, oh, it's going to be boring. Patrick Mahomes. I get it. Everyone's been talking about the fatigue, right? The fatigue of watching the same man in a championship game or the same quarterback in a Super Bowl or the same team for that matter. The reality is this: if you're sick of that team being there, then maybe someone else should beat them. That's it. You know, then everyone got into the conspiracies, and it's going to be this and it's going to be that. It's the red and the purple, Jay. It's going to be the 49ers and the Ravens, and it's going to be this and it's going to be that. Well, it ends up turning out to be the Chiefs and the 49ers, and now you don't hear it anymore. The red and the purple don't matter. I never want to hear about the logo anymore. I don't. I don't. Because now someone's going to say, "Well, Jay, they changed they changed the conspiracy at the last second. They had to change it because everybody caught on." Well, how about they made the conspiracy? How about that? How about they made the scheme? They made the script so that everyone fed into it. And for 18 weeks, you had people dropping millions of dollars based on a conspiracy that everyone thought that it was going to be the damn Ravens and the 49ers. Could that conspiracy have been dropped by FanDuel, DraftKings, whichever sportsbook you like to use, Caesars, MGM, and all that? Oh yeah, we're gonna make sure that we have that red and purple logo big, nice, and bright for you, and you can feed into that. And yeah, it's gonna be them in the Super Bowl. Go ahead, place your bets, and when it's all said and done, all that money is gone now. I don't know. I don't know. Shout out to Brian Allison. He's in the top five. He has a lot to do if he wants to get into the top three. I like it, man. Without a doubt. I like it. John says if Chiefs win, then Kelsey marries Swift. But if they lose, then Swift dumps Kelsey live on TV. Next song track about Kelsey for sure. That's another one, man. People are talking about as far as they were basically talking about whether or not Kelsey would go out there and propose at the 50-yard line if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. It's funny. It's funny stuff. I get it. It's always stuff to talk about and stuff to get the people going. It's you know. Once again, it's all about what you want to feed into, right? It's all about what you want to feed into. It's all about what you want to get into. And you know, if you want to make something out of nothing, it's always there. It is always there. Shout out to Lisa. Says Jay, Brock Purdy isn't Mr. Irrelevant anymore. He's so close to getting a Super Bowl trophy. He's right there. He's right there, right? If there's any chance for you to have the trophy in your hand, well, you got 24 hours. You're going to be on that field with your talented tight end, your talented running back, your talented wide receivers. Are you going to waste this opportunity, or are you going to go out there and seize the moment and show the world why you're not Mr. Irrelevant? That's the question. But on the flip side, you've got this other guy on the side of the field who's chasing greatness right now. The dynamic of the two is this. On this side, literally on this side, right? On this side, you've got this guy chasing greatness right now. He's already made a name for himself, but he's still, every time he steps on that field, he wants to show everybody that he's the greatest now. I'm the best quarterback in this league. And he's been doing it. That's why he's back in the Super Bowl. Then this guy over here, right? This guy right here, he's like, hey, I'm about to make a name for myself. I can go out here and do this just like the best of them. And he showed it. So that's why I said when people were saying, oh, it's going to be a boring game, I don't think it's going to be a boring game. I think we're going to see a very interesting offensive battle. There's going to be times where the defense definitely steps up, but I feel like there's so much talent on both sides that this game could be high scoring. It could be high scoring. It could turn into a shootout at some point because people are going to find a way to get open. People are going to find a way to make plays. And I would be surprised if it's not. I would be surprised if it does turn into a heavy defensive battle because that would basically mean that people are just on lock and nobody really showed up to play. So, that's just the reality of it. Like I said, I like Purdy. I like Mahomes. The reality is, you can hate Mahomes if you want to, but if you truly understand that Mahomes' magic and what he's been able to do on the field, you really start to, appreciate what he's brought to the Chiefs franchise and that organization and what he's brought to Arrowhead for the fans. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Peter says losing does not affect Chiefs, but affects 49ers deeply. So the question that I did put up there was who has more pressure right now? Who has more pressure on them in this game? And obviously this is my own personal opinion. I would say Brock Purdy probably has the most pressure. Not because this is the first Super Bowl he's been to, but I would say he has the most pressure because of the level of hate. Because listen, a lot of these people, they're on social media, right? They're reading Twitter, they're reading Facebook, they're going through YouTube, they're watching the videos just like us, right? They're not robots. They're human. They want to know what's going on and what people are saying. I feel like it's more pressure for Brock Purdy because he's the one that is looked down on. He's the one that's been looked at like, oh, he can't do it. He's the one that's been looked at like, oh, it's it was a fluke. You're not even supposed to be here. And while that is the most pressure for him, I think that is also going to be his biggest advocate, right? His biggest motivation, his biggest driving factor. Because if he's able to channel all that negative energy into positive and actually go out there and perform, that could be the difference maker in him going out there and playing a hell of a game and playing to perfection. If he can fight through the adversity and all the issues and everything that everyone said about him and all the negativity that he's had to face and the whole system quarterback thing and all the game manager and all that kind of stuff. If he can channel that energy, he will go out there and probably play the best game of his career, which he will need to, because that's the bottom line. If the 49ers are going to win this game, Brock Purdy is going to have to play his best. Forget what you did all season. Forget what you did to get here. You have to come up with a proper game plan and play to perfection if you're going to beat this Chiefs team. Shout out to Gene, says how you talk about hate when the Chiefs are the center of a conspiracy. Uh, I mean, which conspiracy is it? Are we talking about the Taylor Swift conspiracy? Are we talking about just the Chiefs in general conspiracy? Are we talking about the Patrick Mahomes being the stepchild of the NFL, or being the love child of the NFL conspiracy? Which one are we talking about? There's so many. I've lost count, my friend. Which one are we talking about? I've lost count. Patrick Mahomes with time is no hope. That's why I say fourth quarter time will be a factor. You know what's funny is I was listening to Shannon Sharp yesterday, and he was basically saying how this game could come down to, or he's saying that this game should come down to a pass in the fourth quarter. And I thought it was very wild that he said that because once again, that fits into the narrative of it being a defensive battle. I don't think it's going to be a defensive battle. I think I said I think it's going to be more of an offensive shootout. I could be wrong, right? I've been wrong. I've been right. It is what it is. But if it turns into, okay, it's going to boil down to a pass, then that would mean it's a super close game, right? Because normally, if the game comes down to a pass, that means you got to move the ball. Now, if someone's up largely, then it's going to be a running game for them because they're just going to be trying to run the clock towards the end of the game. So the reality is, if we do see it come down to the fourth quarter, that means it's probably going to be a close game. And that means that either someone is up by a couple points, they need to move the ball, or someone's going to be trailing by a touchdown, something like that. And then they got to move the ball, try and get down the field, potentially tie it up, or hopefully take a lead. So that's generally right what we would maybe expect in a Super Bowl. But with these two teams and the talent that we know that they have and the experience talent that we know the 49ers have and the experience that the Chiefs have, that's why I think it's going to be more of an offensive battle than a defensive battle. But we'll see. We'll see. Uh, says Mahomes will hit Rice deep for a touchdown. Look at MG calling it out. So you taking Rice for that anytime touchdown? We'll see, man. We'll see. Mortal says I trust San Francisco's defensive line over KC's, but both are solid. So I agree to a certain extent. I would agree if it was any other running back besides McCaffrey, right? And besides Debo. because when you put those two in there, it's very. I don't care what kind of defense you got. It becomes very difficult to stop those two. When you've got a direct snap to McCaffrey right up the middle, who's stopping him? Right? You may be able to contain him, but and we've seen it happen from time to time, right? But these guys can wear down a defense, especially if they're picking up 5, 6 yards a carry and breaking for any kind of big gains. Those are, the guys that can wear down your defense. And the next thing you know, all right, fine. We've wear down your defense. We've brought down your safeties because we've ran enough to now you've left somebody open to where, all right, Purdy can basically find them, find Ayuk for a 50-yard pass. Or guess what? If you got everybody blocked up now and you found a way to stop CMC or Debo, well, we just found out that Purdy's got a run game. Nobody's seen this kid run until the last couple games. Well, now we found out that Purdy can run, and that's another issue you got to deal with. Because now we know he's willing to run to get the first down now. And he's got some legs. There's going to be a lot that Reed has to figure out within this defense and how to stop the 49ers for sure. For sure. Shout out to you, Don. What's going on with you, Don, in the house? Shout out to Nancy. Who says, I hope everyone keeps their clothes on. Go Niners. Shout out to you, Nancy. CMC says, Chiefs Pro Bowl O-line dude is out for the game. Hopefully that helps Niners close the pocket on Mahomes. Yeah, so as far as the injury report, let me head over to that for you real quick. We've got, Joe Thuney. The guard is out for the Chiefs. McKinnon is on IR. He's been on IR. And then, of course, you've got Omenihu, who's on IR as well. So, yeah, I mean, that's two tough losses for the Chiefs defense. But, as far as the 49ers defense, I would say that they have kind of slacked off for, not completely, but we haven't seen them really play at their top elite level, especially Bosa, right? We know what Bosa could do. He's been nothing short of a great talent, but we just haven't really seen him play his best games. So if there's any time for the 49ers defense to step up, it would be now in the Super Bowl, right? It would be now. So it will be interesting to see what they do on both sides for sure. Shout out to you, Marto. Will George Kittle play? Yeah, he's going to play for sure. For sure. King says 3 rings before the age of 30. Wow. That's huge. That's huge. MG says George Kittle will leave with a concussion. Why do you say that? We don't praise injury over here, nor do we wish it, MG. So do you have some kind of information that we need to know? Do I need to call a friend to call a friend? No, we don't praise or wish for injuries, bro. But if you know something that I don't know, let me know. Shout out to Michael. What up, man? What's going on with you? Let me just go back here a little bit. So Moody misses 1 kick per game. That's interesting. I'll have to go look that up. Is that a fact? Yeah, I got to go look that up. I have to go look it up. So yeah, like I said, as far as what we're expecting, I think it's going to be, a great game. I'm going to be streaming it tomorrow. Like I said, I do have some plans for a giveaway. It will be a surprise. So make sure that if you guys have not subscribed to the channel, click that bell, turn your notifications. I didn't want to hop into another story. This is a little veering off a little bit before we get back into the Super Bowl. There was a situation that I posted in regards to Zay Flowers. Now, I simply stated that this was, for those who don't know, there was a situation at Zay Flowers' house where the authorities were called, and it's being investigated. That's all that's been released right now. I basically said this is not a good look for Zay Flowers nor the Ravens franchise. Now, I didn't throw any shade because I want to wait till we get, the investigation information and actually see what happens before I get my opinion and my take. Come on, Cole, relax, relax. All right. So I just posted it up like saying, hey, there was this situation, and a few people hit me up about it. They were upset. They thought I was throwing shade. I didn't throw any shade at Zay Flowers. I said that this did not look good for him and the Ravens. Any kind of allegations or reports that come out in that negative aspect is not going to look good for anybody. The reality is this: at the end of the day, I'm waiting to make my actual video about it or my take on it until we get the investigation back. But I didn't throw shade at Zay Flowers or the Ravens organization. I said it was not a good look, which it is not, and I still stand on business in regards to that because anytime there's any kind of negative light shined on a situation that happens at somebody's house in this form, it's a bad look. It doesn't matter. Come on, Cole. It doesn't matter, who it's about. It doesn't matter what it's for. If it's in regards to a negative aspect, it's not a good look. Now, once the truth comes out, and once we know the facts, then obviously, I can make the decision to drop the video. And we'll talk about it, and we'll talk about all the facts before we really dig into it. But I still stand on it. It's a bad look. It's a bad look. And the reason why I say it's a bad look is because the Ravens have a negative reputation for these kind of situations. I'm not making that up. I didn't just state that out the blue. That's the reality of it. Just the reality of it. Shout out to Lisa says, suppose the girl is the aggressor. She can be arrested. He needs a lawyer to clear his name, Jay. So yeah, once like I said, they haven't even released the 911 phone call, and there's been requests for that information. So waiting for that to come out, waiting to get all the information, and then obviously we'll get back into it. But yeah. Shout out to Cat Daddy. Says I'm looking for a new stream to support. Gracia is just not for me anymore. Cat Daddy, I respect other streamers, but hey, if you want to come over here, rock with us. We've had tons of people come over from different streams, different channels, show us love. So definitely, if you want to come through, we're happy to have you. Like I said, I'll be streaming the game tomorrow as far as the Super Bowl goes. So if you want to rock with us, see how we operate, it's always a good time for sure. For sure. King says, yeah, Missouri, I heard he's pretty good. Kelsey catch or something. Shout out to you, Brian. Corey says the cat is definitely ready for the game. Yes. Yes, he is. That is a fact. Michael says, who do you like to win the big game? I think the Chiefs will take it. That was my prediction. Taking Chiefs by 7. Cat Daddy says, are you a team-based stream? So, no, I stream all 32 teams, Monday, Thursday, Sunday. But my team is the Bills. I'm a Bills fan. But I'm an unbiased Bills fan. So, on a Bills day, I do stream my Bills, or I'm a Bills fan, but I do stream all 32 teams within whatever my stream schedule is. Monday, Thursday, and then Sunday all day. We do 3 games, or 2 or 3 games, depending on how it goes. But it's Monday night, Thursday night, and then Sunday 3 games. If it's a Bills game at 1, starts with a Bills game, and then we'll get into the 4 o'clock game, and then the Sunday night. That's normally how the stream schedule goes. Then we go all the way through, the playoffs, championships, and then obviously the Super Bowl, which we'll be streaming tomorrow. Shout out to you, man. Says, could Eric Bieniemy, can't spell his last name, return to the Chiefs coaching staff next season? I'm not sure. I think when some of these guys decide to be in the news and the light for moving on and the negative energies out there, I think that's damaging to the morale and to the chemistry. So I think it's time to move on. So I don't think he will. So sounds good. What's your name? Do you go by? I go by Jay. I go by Jay. God Daddy. Immortal says he even streams those Lions. Equal opportunity stream. We stream all teams. All teams matter. All teams matter. But yeah, all teams, man. All 32. And like I said, I call them unbiased. It's always a good time. Always a fun time. We've got almost 72,000 subscribers now, and all different fans, all different walks of life, all different countries. Always a good time. We keep the streams family friendly, always fun, and try to keep a positive vibe as much as we can. Sometimes we get trolls and stuff like that, but it's always a fun time. Since Pancho was number 10 for the Chiefs, yeah, man, without a doubt, without a doubt. So, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, tomorrow, like I said, I will be streaming the Super Bowl, your 49ers and your Chiefs. Make sure you lock it in and subscribe. Like I said, I am taking the Chiefs by 7. That was my prediction. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited for it. I'm working on a giveaway for you guys for tomorrow. So, like I said, if you have not, make sure you hit that like, that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, click that bell, turn on your notifications, and I will see you all tomorrow, 6:30. Well, a little bit before 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock tomorrow for Super Bowl 58. Everybody, enjoy your Saturday. Much love to the Wrench Game. Much love to the family, all the listeners, all the watchers. You guys have a great, great afternoon. I'll see you all tomorrow.